In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered. All went to their own towns to be registered. Joseph also went from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to the city of David called Bethlehem, because he was descended from the house and family of David. He went to be registered with Mary, to whom he was engaged and who was expecting a child. When they were there, the time came for her to deliver the child, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in bands of cloth, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for them in the inn. Hey, Pop Kids, you know, when I was a kid and would hear or read that passage from Luke, I didn't think about what was going on in the story as much as I do now. And I mean, can you blame me?
In the days there was a decree that went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered.
I mean, I didn't know what that meant. It sounded really fancy and a little boring, but not anymore. You see, the first part of that story is about the emperor, who was the most powerful person in the world at that time, making everyone, about a fourth of everyone on earth, go back to their hometown so he could take attendance like class? Well, for Mary and Joseph, this would have been something they didn't have much of a say in. It was out of their control. This would not have been something they would have chosen to do. And then later, when there was no room for them at the inn, instead of giving birth to Jesus, the Prince of Peace and the King of Kings, in a palace like he deserved, she'd give birth to him in a barn. And instead of an expensive royal cradle to lay him in, Jesus was laid in a manger, in a food trough for animals. This would not have been what they'd expected. But if the emperor hadn't made his royal decree for a census, Jesus might not have been born in Bethlehem, where the Bible said he'd be born. And if he hadn't been laying in a manger in a barn, the shepherds, you'll hear about them in a minute, they would have had to go door to door all night to find him. Sometimes in life, things will happen that we can't control or that are unexpected. But that doesn't mean that God has forgotten about us. In fact, God might be using those circumstances for good, or doing something very special in your life through the situations we find ourselves in. So this Christmas, we can remember that no matter what happens in life, God is with us. In fact, one of the names for Jesus, Emmanuel, it means God is with us. And not just in December, but for the year, for a lifetime, forever. Merry Christmas, Pop Kids.